What is up, YouTube? This is Hypergon, your Chap with the Cat, back again for another video. Specifically, the newest installment of Throwdown Thursday. And similar to last week, this is going to be a new sort of subcategory for Throwdown Thursday. This one I'm calling Deck Resurrection. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be taking a lot of older decks that people consider worn out, unused, or otherwise dead. Just things that don't see play a lot at all. And I just want to do this because I feel like a lot of people consider that once a deck is past its prime, it's just no longer usable, or for some people, some decks are just never usable at all. And I'm here to prove that that is not the case. That there are some ways to make even the worst of decks shine through. Is it easy? No. But it can be done. And to start this off, I'm actually going to be focusing solely around the dual terminal decks. These are ones that came out in these machines known as dual terminals. We more got them as packs than anything, but regardless, the reason I want to focus around these is because a lot of them have really cool ideas and they have their own lore to them, known as the dual terminal wars, which I've always found really fascinating. So I'm going to try and focus around those. I'll do a different one every time I do a deck resurrection. And so since I'm going to be focusing on the dual terminals, I'm going to be trying to use certain decks like Violons, Ice Barriers, Lolvels, and for this week, Gustos. Now, Gusto is a deck I've always wanted to try and use, because I always saw the potential in them, but I could never get them to just work. But I did manage to find a way to make them work, and here are the duels to prove it. Alright, so starting this one off, we have... Here we go. Yeah, this one. So fair warning, the first couple of these were rage quits again, but I was a little pressed for time, so I didn't exactly have a whole lot of choice. The first one is going to be my Gustos against my Dolces. Now, as you can see here, I have this nifty little thing, Serene Psychic Witch. Yes, my secret to reviving the Gustos and making them work is the Banished Psychics. As such, I've aptly named this deck Psycho, just because it's Psychic Gustos, and other reasons that I went into in last week's video, I believe. If not, oh well. So that's kind of the premise behind this deck, is to take advantage of the fact that a lot of the Gusto monsters are either Psychic or Winged Beast, which actually opens up a lot of interesting possibilities. So here I just went for Psychic Nightmare, trying to inflict a lot of damage. I managed to guess spell card correctly, even though it was very much against me. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. Obviously, he was going to Raigeki me. Went for the puppy. And let's see, what did happen next? Alright. Oh, that's right, I remember. So I just went for a Miracle Synchro Fusion here, just to get Ultimate Axon Kicker, just to help restore my life points a little bit. Activated Madolche Waltz for some reason, just, I don't even know why you would play that card, honestly, but whatever. So, since Madolche, puppy went back into the deck, I gained 1500 and then dealt another little bit to him. I just ended it there, figured I'd wait to see what he did. He did not have a whole lot going on for him, honestly. So I drew teleports and figured, alright, let me try and show off a little bit. He activated Madolche Palooza, also I was trying to be cautious about the back row just in case. He did that, I managed to get out Mental Seeker, and was about to go for one of my synchro plays, but he decided to quit at that point, so that's it for that one. Next up was by far one of the more interesting duels that we had. This was actually using a very inventive deck. I could give kudos to this guys for this. Wrong side. This guy's using a combination of the Speedroid cards being used by Yugo in Arc 5, along with the regular Roid cards that were used by Cyrus all the way back in GX. And I have to admit, that's actually really clever. I would have never thought to do that. So, I really got to give this guy credit. He's living up to his name of Roid Man. So I just decided to kind of build up this little defensive thing because I knew how this card worked. For those of you who don't know, Winda, Goldo, and Eagle are all able to create a sort of infinite loop as long as you have enough of them, because each one can special summon another one from the deck. I decided to go for Freeze here just as sort of a counter for it, just because she can't be destroyed by battle, and my opponent will take all battle damage. So it was just kind of like a nice little wall for me, and it kind of protected all my Gustos no matter what. So I could have used my Miracle Synchro Fusion, but I wanted to hold off on that for a little bit just because I wanted to like address this thing first. So the reason I did Book of Moon there is because I was afraid he was going to wait for it to freeze to work again and then try and destroy it, and sadly that would have worked because I'm only immune to battle destruction. So I decided to shuffle those two in. I realized I accidentally shuffled in the wrong one, but whatever. My plan here was to go for a Thought Ruler, but I realized that because of Prika's effect, I can only get wind, so I had to instead go for Daigusto Eagles, who is still really, really good. You know, during the end phase, I can banish a wind to destroy a face-down card my opponent controls. Unfortunately, I will admit I did kind of forget to do that, so oops on me. And it did also ultimately require me to get rid of my big defense. However, I had the Quill Pen Goldos, which let me just shuffle that back into his extra deck. Now I go for Miracle Synchro Fusion. He tries to bottomless. Unfortunately, Ultimate Axon Kicker cannot be destroyed. I just use Mercy Teleport here, go for a Ghost Trick Alucard so I can pop his back row, just be a little bit more safe. And I just kind of go in a little bit. Not too much there. I know I may have two of my best monsters in the Banish Zone, but I'm not too worried about it just because of how the Psychics work. I can actually get them back rather easily, believe it or not. So what this guy does here actually like really surprised me. He went for a Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and then pulled out the same monsters basically. Did 6 again, and went for another one. Like, okay. Like, he didn't really do much with it. I guess he was waiting for, like, an effect to kick in or something. But either way, I have to admit, they catch me a little bit off guard. And so here, I kind of accidentally do something, like, a little wrong, but it worked out nicely anyway. I was originally thinking, oh, cool, I can kick some ass with his Clearwing, but I forgot Mike doesn't let me. However, that also meant he couldn't activate Clearwing Synchro Dragon's effect. So I was pretty safe on that. And at that point, he kind of knew he had lost. So that was the end of that one. Now we move on to the final one. And ironically, my first duel that I had with this deck. Or first one I saved, anyway. And again, on the wrong side. So in this one, I'm just going up against your basic rank 4 Xyz spam. I'm not the biggest fan of this deck, but I digress. So he just does this, goes for Lavalval Chain, very standard first move for a lot of decks that can make rank 4 plays, especially in a rank 4 deck. So I just decide, alright, let me just set Winda so I can, if nothing else, get a tuner out for next turn so I can make a synchro play. He does this massive thing. Oh, that was my bad. I was thinking something else. He then goes for King of the Feral Imps for obvious Kage Tokage. Lavalval Chain then puts Tin Goldfish on top of his deck. You'll see why later. So Winda goes off, I get Goldo. He actually does not attack like I was expecting him to. He instead goes for number F0 Future Hope, which I will admit caught me a little off guard. So what I decided to do is just summon Calm and go for Daigusto Eagles. I banished Winda so I can get rid of the back row during the end phase. I knew I couldn't attack this thing, so I was like, alright, I at least have this. He uses Tin Goldfish, gets Kage Tokage, And then on Goldfish effect gets Yellow Gadget, which I have to admit is quite impressive. And so instead of just overlaying immediately, he takes my Eagles and just goes balls in with everything. Almost kills me. Almost, but I somehow live this. So I get my Eagles back. He goes into Diamond Dire and blows up my Eagles. So that's what I have to deal with right now, and I am not that happy about it. But nevertheless, I do find a way around it. I go for Thunderbolt, Mind Control, and go for Castell, and just kind of poke damage, so I don't have to worry about the F-Zero anymore. For those of you wondering why I run Thunderbolt, it's not actually for the reason that you think. It's because I run Space-Time Cop, and I can special summon him through his effect, and his effect only goes off when he's special summoned, which lets me banish an opponent's monster. So that's why I run Thunderbolt. It's not to grab Gusto monsters at all. It's actually to grab a Psychic monster. And so I just went ahead and brought out Silent Psychic Wizard. At this point, I realized that I could banish any Psychic monster, so I went for Eagles, because I needed that thing back. Unfortunately, since I did have a tutor monster in my hand, I knew I could easily get rid of him to get chain off his effect. All he had was Red Gadget here, so at this point I basically knew I had already had him. So I bring out Esper Girl, go into Psychic Nightmare, Psychic Weird Effect, I get Eagles back. I try and call Monster there, but it was an MST, but whatever. I still have plenty of damage to deal with this guy, more than enough for game. That, children, is why you never give up too soon. You never know what might happen. But that's what I got in terms of resurrecting the Gustos. Now, let me know what you guys think below. Did I do a good job? Is this form of Gustos playable? Is it good, or are Gustos still just dead as dead can be and I've wasted my time? And if I did do a good job, what deck do you want to see me resurrect next? There's plenty that you can do from within the dual terminal storylines, or you can just pick another deck you think is long since buried the hatchet and would like to see come back. I'll do whatever I can for it. I'm just trying to find a way to bring back these old decks. That's kind of the point. But that's all I got for you guys this week. Don't forget to like me on Facebook, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, peace.